Shane Fleming here, and over the next few days I'm going to be staying in this fantastic cabin behind me up in the Catskills, about an hour and a half outside New York City. I'm here for a few reasons: one, to get out of the city for a few days, and two, to explore the idea of Airbnb these cabins and the whole cabin life, to see if it is a good financial property investment and a good long-term investment. So over the next few videos, stick with me. The first video will be about actually staying in one of these cabins and the experience of it, and then I will go into later parts exploring the financials behind it. So our journey up to, we don't know where yet.
Where are we going, Shane?
Oh, it's a cabin in the woods. It's way more in the woods than we thought it was gonna be. Can we even see the path here? Like, is this?
I think this is a road to the right here.
Is it?
Yeah.
What happens if I get stuck?
I don't know. I just.
Okay, this does look like a road.
Very eerie time for us to get here.
Yeah. Rain just came out of nowhere. Oh wow, that is pretty cool though. So have we set up for cabin in the woods, romantic time, or is this going to turn into a horror?
Stop, Shane.
I'll get this out of the way. Thank God. Thank God all.
You hit something.
Thank God all bears are asleep at the moment.
Shane, you hit something.
A small rock.
What about the bears?
Hopefully all the bears are asleep and they don't wake up while we're here.
Got a gun. Or we should.
Oh yeah, we should have got a gun.
We should have got a gun.
This is the exact kind of place in America you need a gun. We're about an hour and a half outside New York City.
Maybe there's an axe.
But it is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. In the middle of nowhere. Okay, so after a little bit of trouble with the lockbox, we finally got our way in here. Beautiful surroundings. Should probably take our shoes off, yeah.
Shane, you gotta bring the axe in.
We gotta bring the axe in from outside.
Yeah, there's an axe outside. You need to bring it in.
It is kind of cool. It's nice and warm. Is there lights? Kitchen's cool. Did not notice it on the first time around, but we've got an old record player. Well, not that old, but a lot of old records as well. Day one in the cabin, we survived our first night here. No bears attacked us. There was no need to use the axe. It was a bit weird because it was actually so quiet here. It was a little bit hard to sleep because you'd expect to be hearing wind or trees, but the building itself is so well insulated that you heard nothing. Christine is here with me for a few days working away. She wanted to get out of the city and work outside the city for a little bit of time, but we also decided we would come down and stay in one of these locations because we were thinking about it ourselves from an investment. Was it a worthwhile investment in terms of these Airbnbs? If it would be something we want to get involved in ourselves as well. So we just said the best thing to do is stay in one of these and see how much we actually like it. And that's what we're going to do over the next few days. But it's not the first time we've come down to something like this. We did stay in a place in Ireland called Finlock. We were there with a couple, so it was a little bit different, and Finlock is completely different in this location because there was a huge amount to do in that resort, because it technically was a resort. We were in a bubble and we had a view of the night sky in the woods when we were staying there for a few days, but there was lots to do in terms of having a cheese board over a barbecue, an open fire, looking out onto a lake, also a whiskey tasting. There was a restaurant there. There was a spa. There was lots of things to do, and it's a little bit different than out here because we are in the middle of nowhere. We are a bit remote from everything. I think any kind of shops or villages are about 20 minutes drive, maybe half an hour, 45-minute drive away. So we are kind of in the middle of nowhere. Cell service is terrible, so we're relying solely on the Wi-Fi. So if that goes, we are pretty much stranded. But we kind of feel that you have to make your own entertainment down here. So I will give you a tour of the building as well, but I kind of want to have a quick look in regards to the size of this and quickly work out what the size of this unit is. We're talking about just over 850 square feet downstairs. Upstairs is the same. However, there is a little bit of a void there in regards to the stairs. So overall, you're talking about 1,600 square feet or thereabouts. It doesn't feel that big at all because effectively it's just two large rooms. Why it feels like that is because it is open plan. It's taking advantage of these two large aspect windows that you have within the property, but also there's only two internal doors and both of those are for bathrooms, so it feels kind of very open. It doesn't quite feel as big as perhaps 1,600 square feet house would, because that could be a 3 or 4 bedroom house, where realistically this feels a hell of a lot smaller than that. So I will show you around. Let me just flip this over. Right, let's go for a tour. I'll show you outside in a few minutes, but as you can see downstairs, kind of this is your sitting room area. We do have a large dining room area, which Christine is working away here. This table is huge. We really like it. It probably would fit about 10 people, maybe 12 people at it. We do like the floors, they're heated floors. But I think myself and Christine, what we both kind of like the most within this internal aspect is the exposed concrete. So this is our kitchen. As we go in, it's a nice kitchen, a nice hob, but cooker. What would you call it? Smeg cooker. This cooked unbelievably yesterday. We were so surprised how it worked. Did take us a little bit of time to figure it out, but it worked really well. This thing again, the hob took us ages to figure out, but we got it to work. There is a drums set here. I actually did learn how to play the drums when I was younger, but I'm not going to give you a bash right now because there is only one drumstick. I did only play for a few months, but lucky enough I gave my drum set to a cousin of mine, much younger cousin of mine. He was probably about 10 years younger than me. I was learning as a teenager. He was perhaps about 7 or 8. Gave him the drum set and he is now a professional drum player. So some use came out of me trying to pick up the drums. We go around here, we pass the fridge, some utility area, and then we have our downstairs bathroom. Not much to it, just a shower and a normal toilet and sink. But I'll bring you upstairs now.
If you say what you mean and I listen close, then I'll know what you mean. So the theory goes, but here in the real world, it don't work that way. You claim I don't hear anything you say. The myth of translation says words can convey.
Okay, so we'll go outside. Okay, I'm running around now. I think I'm getting out of breath, I'm talking so quickly. Right, so outside, I'll show you the building in a minute, but I'll show you the kind of outside of the property first. So you do kind of have a little bit of kind of recreational area, and obviously they've put down these stones, and they must come up and blow all the leaves off before guests come up here, because you'd imagine this whole area would be covered in leaves normally, so they must come up. Oh, that looks like it is a beehive or a wasp hive up there at the very corner. Interesting. Anyway, so you've got your hammock. That might have got a little bit wet yesterday. Yeah, so I won't be sitting in that today. Then down to a large picnic bench again, like it would be lovely for groups. You have a gas barbecue here, and a picnic bench that has pretty rudimental design, but it looks very efficient in what it actually does. And then we have a lovely view of the property itself back up here. You can get a kind of a good look at the architectural nature of the property, and we'll walk around to the front of the property. I suppose interestingly enough, it's something from kind of a development point of view that I would have had to consider, or I suppose anyone needs to consider, is in regards how do you get your power and water to these type of properties. So I can see that there is water coming up here, obviously coming from mains somewhere, and there is power, there is a meter. a nice view of the front. Actually, this is the first time I'm seeing it from this angle since we came in yesterday evening. And when we came in yesterday evening, it was getting a little bit dark. So it is slightly prettier from this angle as well. So this is the property. That's the tour. I will go through later on in the video in terms of the finance, the modelling, how this might all work, how profitable it is, where I see the advantages, where I see the disadvantages. But we'll probably go for the odd hike and stuff first before we kind of draw any final conclusions, see the area, get out and have a look at the towns and stuff like that before we draw any kind of major conclusions. Also, before I forget, Christine did make me take this axe in from outside because she was a little bit worried of it just sitting outside the main door and wanted it inside rather than outside. So here it is for the next few days. Don't come knocking. Yeah, what do I remember? This is probably the wrong way around.
What's the second thing you're using?
Okay, I'm using a drumstick and I'm using a wooden spoon. So here we go. This is not going in the video.